Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we have racing here in all three series: Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series. Trucks and Xfinity visit Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and the Cup Series will be going to Homestead Miami Speedway, where I actually got to fly to with my personal plane here, taking off from Daytona International Speedway after the Daytona 500, which didn't end definitely the way we wanted it to, but I was able to take about a 4-hour flight here in my really slow plane and land just outside of Homestead Miami Speedway here as the sun was setting. So we got down and got ready for some racing with first the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series to take care of. If you notice maybe a bit of a different sound going on with my microphone, I'm not sure if it's going to be noticeable or not, but basically I'm pretty much in a fully empty room at this point here. My whole YouTube content creation room is being kind of redone right now, so that will kind of set us up for streaming in the future, so stay tuned on that. But there was a bit of an echo coming from my mic, so I had to add the reverb onto my Adobe Premiere audio. So hopefully it's not much of a noticeable thing, but let me know if it is, and hopefully it sounds okay. But here we were in the Truck Series in Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where we had community member of Devin Simmons behind the wheel of our Ford truck here in the Truck Series. Now it's different saying Ford. I'm used to saying our Chevrolet all the time, but no, it was a Ford this time now throughout this whole final season of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. But now a little bit later in this race, up into turns 3 and 4, this was on the actual final lap of this race, and Devin had gotten up into the 10th position. Wasn't the best result we were hoping for here in Las Vegas, but this is a track we have struggled at a lot in the past, so I wasn't too surprised by this kind of result. So we'll still take a strong top 10 finish though here in Las Vegas for the Truck Series. The winner would be Austin Hill in the number 16 truck, as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen. Gracie Trotter rounds out the top 20, and then at the very bottom of the grid we had Mike Carmen. So now we come through into the Xfinity Series, where Daniel Suarez makes his Go-In Racing debut. He will be driving our car throughout the whole season here for us in the Xfinity Series with Go-In Racing, and really hoping that, of course, he can pick us up our second consecutive Xfinity Series championship, as we did go out champions with Paul Menard last season in his final full-time season in NASCAR in general. It was a tremendous start for Suarez, by the way. Went 3 wide around the outside, passed 4 or 5 cars in the first few corners. Then he went past even more down the back straightaway into turn 3. He was already up towards a top 5 position in this race, and then we came to a little bit later to the outside of the number 20 there of Brandon Jones, and he would get past him down into turn 3 and up into second place, and then he would make a move on the inside of Riley Herbst for the lead. And sure enough, Suarez goes to the lead in his first race for our team. Unfortunately, it didn't last, as we came through to 2 laps ago. We got passed by the 21 of Ty Majeski. Suarez pulls the side draft there, wasn't quite enough. So now out of turns 4, now towards the end of this race, Suarez crosses the line there for a second place finish here in the Boyd Gaming 300 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm still happy with a second place finish there. A great debut for Suarez back in the Xfinity Series there, as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen. Justin Allgaier, a rough day, down in 30th place, and David Starr was in last. But now focusing on the Cup Series, I had mentioned with us going to Roush LeBron Racing, Keselowski having an ownership role as well. He really wanted me over here to this team to help build the development of Roush LeBron Racing. So I had to go through, and we were actually helping hire employees, train employees, upgrade the chassis and the engines and whatnot in every aspect of this car. And we are at a 90 rating out of 100, so we still have a little bit of ways to go, which means we will be down on power here for this race and probably some more races to come here in the future. But we have a lot of money, so we know for a fact we can help this team get to the point it needs to be at. Running the Pepsi paint scheme for the first time this season, made by Latchon. Beautiful paint scheme, by the way, as we came through into qualifying. This is where we would find out what pace do we have in the opening part of the season with this Roush LeBron Racing team, and I felt like I had set a decent lap. I came through to cross the line, beat the goal by a lot with a 33.030, and we qualify P22. So I think that was 12 positions shy of what we did last time we came here with Gordon Hendrick in the number 24 car. So that kind of tells you right now what kind of speed we have in this Roush LeBron Racing car. So definitely some work to do, to say the least, now here in Homestead Miami. But I'm excited for this brand new challenge we've never faced in the Cup Series. As you look at the top 10, Bubba Wallace rounding out the top 10, your Daytona 500 winner of Lewis Hamilton up there, and Derek Kraus on pole alongside Eric Jones. Homestead Miami Speedway, though, the track we go to today, opened on November 5th, 1995. It was a $70 million construction to build Homestead Miami Speedway. As you see the sights and scenes outside of the track as we're getting ready to go green here now, as this track formerly held the season finale many times throughout the NASCAR history. Thankfully, it's still the season finale in our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode.
Sun sets on the beautiful Homestead Miami Speedway. You know what to do, man. Just come and bring it home.
Yes, sir. It's going to be an uphill battle all night long, but I don't see why we can't get a good result out of it. So let's go have some fun tonight, guys. There you hear myself back and forth with our crew chief of Lation, by the way, now getting ready to go green here in the Dixie Vodka 400 from Homestead Miami Speedway. Derek Kraus on pole with Joey Logano, who still remembers us. He caused us to crash big time in the Daytona 500 last episode for the first time, I think, ever since NASCAR Heat 4, we actually went on our side. So we've been airborne in NASCAR Heat 5, but we've never actually went up and over. So that was a big incident for us here to start this final season of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode as we are underway here from Homestead Miami Speedway. It was not the start of the season we were looking for. No stage points in Daytona, and of course a not even top 30 finish from Daytona. So we are looking to rebound today. We know we're in a car that's not going to be out here being a top 10 contender right off the bat. We have to work at that throughout the whole season long, and hopefully by mid-season we can consistently be top 10, and hopefully by the end of the regular season we can be competing for wins on a regular basis like we're used to with the number 24 car at Gordon Hendrick Motorsports. There is a brand new car on the grid here today, by the way, so I fixed the whole second Chris Buescher issue. That is now the 78 car still, but it is instead of Chris Buescher, Justin Haley back in the Cup Series. He lost his ride at Kaulig at the end of last season, but has returned already after just missing one race in the Daytona 500. You saw myself let Joey Logano by. I didn't want anything to do with him. I said, Joey, just go take the spot and have your fun running up towards the front of the pack potentially now, as we're already, I could tell, in for a long race now. On to lap 5 of 19, 15 laps to go in stage 1, and here I am trying to battle Rajah Caruth there in the 20. Just got past our former teammate of Ryan Blaney, so we're up into P21 now, but it was a struggle from here on out in this first stage. As you can see, a lap later on lap 6, I'm losing ground to 20th place of Rajah Caruth. I immediately could tell some of the adjustments I wanted to make to the car. I wanted to tighten it up a little bit now. I felt like my main problem was getting the power down, and that was really causing me to lose this time to say a 20th place driver and 19th place driver of the JGR duo of Ty Gibbs and Rajah Caruth. Gibbs already running better than he did all of last season here in Miami, so that might be a nice little improvement sign for him. There, as you saw myself have a moment through turn 3 and out of turn 4, we were sideways after hitting the apron, and then comes through Ryan Blaney on the inside. So now on 12 laps to go in the stage, we drop down to 22nd place, and then now to lap 8 of 19. Derek Kraus still leading the way, but we would actually have a chance to get back in front of Ryan Blaney. We did just that, but then up the inside comes to 41 of John Hunter Nemechek here, as he's going to go by on the inside into the corner. So we gain one spot, and then we immediately lose that same spot. So Alex Bowman, he was coming up into the mix as well, and he had put some pressure on myself into turn 3 on lap 11. Actually, a little bit of contact between us. I came down on him. He had nothing to do with that there. That was all 100% on myself, and that would be another spot loss. So down to P23 in the opening laps of this race here from Homestead Miami. Then to lap 12, William Byron as well coming up into the mix now, as actually decided we're going to keep that razor paint scheme on his car for a little bit longer here throughout this career mode, because I love looking at that car so much. I said, you know what, we got to run it a few more times. So Byron, though, goes up the inside, and I would try my best to fight him. You can see I was running the top a lot now, as I felt a lot more comfortable up here until I do that right there. I got to the outside wall, so we dropped down to 24th place on lap 13. It was a miserable start to this race. Here comes Ryan Blaney back up the inside, and the 10 of Matt DiBenedetto is going to follow through as well, but surprisingly, the outside keeps me in the fight. So we would actually be able to stay in front of Ryan Blaney here on the exit of turns 4, and we would kind of hold our own for the time being. Now, as we came through the 3 laps to go on the stage, just running all by myself at this point. Blaney's still behind us, but he was about half a second back, so I was comfortably ahead of him, but nowhere near close enough to William Byron to do anything. So really just bringing the car home at this point here in stage 1 and just get to the pit lane to make some serious adjustments to this car as we started the final lap of the stage. Derek Kraus already out of turns 4, down the front straightaway, coming through to win the first and opening stage, as we are just now exiting turns 2. What a difference off season can make there, as you see Kraus winning stage 1, sailing it off into turns 1 and 2, or cruising into turns 1 and 2. Caution had come out after 10th place had crossed the line. Lewis Hamilton is in second place. Eric Jones, Chris Buescher in the Red Bull up there in the top 5, along with Bubba Wallace. Christian Eckes, the other Red Bull, there in 9th place. And rounding out the top 10 was Front Rows Todd Gilliland there in that Mercedes. As we are going to make some adjustments there coming into the pit lane. A great stage for some other drivers other than myself, because that was miserable for us now, as Derek Kraus ends up winning the first and opening stage here from Homestead Miami Speedway. Back from Homestead Miami, getting ready to go green for the start of the second stage here in Homestead Miami. There you see the coastline very close by to the track now. As you see as well, the sun is starting to set here in Miami quite quickly. It goes from looking like the middle of the day to sunset just about here in Miami. As we drop one spot on the pit lane, another thing with this team is our pit crew isn't quite top tier as well, and we have to work at that now as the second stage gets underway. And for the second time this season, it is time to get amped in Miami. Car still feels really loose. I think we need to kind of tighten it up a little bit if possible at the end of the stage.
Okay, we'll raise the track bar a little bit, see if that'll tighten it up for you.
Already looking way more competitive than we were in this first and opening stage of this race here in this beautiful Pepsi paint scheme on the track. Let me know what you guys think about the Pepsi car. I really think it is beautiful. It's not complicated, it's pretty straightforward, but it gets the point across and it looks tremendous. Now on to lap 6 of stage 2. Derek Kraus continuing to lead the way. Dominant performance from him so far. He won last season for the first time in his career at Canada. Now as up the inside comes Kaz Gralla into turns 1, so we were under a little bit of pressure from him. So you can see once again the car kind of falling off a little bit, but now we're running 22nd instead of like fighting for 25th, 26th. So it's small gains that those adjustments made, because we're not looking to make adjustments and gain 10, 15 positions. That's not a realistic thought process with the car that we're driving. So right now we're trying to gain 2, 3 positions out of these adjustments, and that's exactly what we have gained so far here in the second stage. Now to lap 8 up the inside actually of Kaz Gralla. Now we were just continuing to fight as the stage goes on, swapping spots here and there, swapping lanes that we were running, trying my best to get clear of that number 16 car. Couldn't quite pull it off though. Now as we came through to lap 12, we had kind of settled in now here in the closing laps of stage 2, as I was pretty content at this point. I was still going to take the opportunity, of course, if I could get that opportunity to make a pass on that number 16 of Kaz Gralla, but it just quite wasn't happening at this point. But now as we close up to the back of him here now with 3 laps to go, I was realizing we might have a legitimate chance to fight back, rally back past that number 16 here as we go down this back straightaway towards turns 3. But by the time we came through to the final lap, he had actually opened it up once again. So it was really hit or miss. Some laps were really consistent, some laps it was just not going well for me, and I think that's just an effect of just the car we're driving, and over the season it's going to continue to get better. But Derek Kraus out of turns 4, already down the front straightaway, will win the second stage. We didn't lose as much time this time. Now as there's smoke pouring out of the 16 of Gralla, he blows an engine going into turns 3. We're going to gain a spot there and jump up into P21. The caution comes out as 10th place crosses the line, and we get P21 in stage 2 in the last moments as Kaz Gralla blows an engine in that colleague racing number 16 Chevrolet Camaro. As you see, Derek Kraus, Lewis Hamilton again 1, 2, Eric Jones up there, Bubba Wallace, Chris Buescher are very similar top 5 here in stage 2 like we had in stage 1. Now as I make a few more adjustments to the car, having a good idea of where we need to go now here as we get ready to prep for this third and final stage. Derek Kraus once again wins stage 2 as he sweeps the 2 stages on the day from Homestead Miami Speedway. One stage remains here from the beautiful Homestead Miami Speedway, getting ready to go green for stage 3 now, as it's been an up and down battle for us here tonight, but we are up to the challenge. We lost 2 spots on the pit lane, so we're down in P23 for the start of this final stage, but we have been making improvements here on the pit stop, so hopefully with those recent adjustments that we just made again, we will make even further progress. Now 25 laps to go here from Homestead Miami Speedway, right behind our former Gordon Hendrick Motorsports teammates of Alex Bowman. Gordon Hendrick not having a great day. Byron's behind myself. Bowman's just in front of us. Blaney hasn't been having a good day either, and you can see Kyle Larson just up in front of us, as well as these 3 wide with Joey Logano, as well as the 10 of Matt DiBenedetto. Sorry, that's the 41 of John Hunter Nemechek into turn 3 now, as we're looking up the inside of that number 11 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Camry driver of Ty Gibbs now, as we exit turn 4 side by side with him coming through to complete his first and opening lap of this final stage here. Into turns 1, there you see up in front Derek Kraus continuing to lead the way, but Eric Jones in the McLaren putting on some pressure. Last time we came to Homestead Miami, just recently in the season finale in the last season, Eric Jones won that race actually. It was looking like we were going to win that race, but it didn't quite happen here, so we decided, you know what, I'm feeling comfortable enough in this car. We're going to get aggressive here, trying to make it 3 wide into turn 3 with Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson, our 2 former teammates, but we can't quite pull it off right there as we exit turns 4 still side by side, as a little bit of contact actually made with the 48, just a misjudgment on my end, but we actually have to get back in behind them, get their draft, get back up to that speed we need into turns 1, and once again try to push the fight to Kyle Larson, as well as that number 48 of Alex Bowman. Eric Jones actually got to the lead here in stage 3 now, as we were still battling with Kyle Larson, but we left the door wide open for Ty Gibbs on lap 46 to go up my inside, so now 3 wide in the middle here as we go down this back straightaway. Not what I was trying to have happen, and sure enough, we're going to be the loser of that one now, as we drop down to 22nd place when we were trying to make a pass to go for 20th place. So still, this car just doesn't have that speed that we quite need, but I was feeling pretty happy with the pressure that we were putting to Kyle Larson, to Ty Gibbs as well. Now, as Lewis Hamilton would take a shot at taking the lead here, now on lap 49, he was out in front of Eric Jones, so Kraus has fallen off quite a bit here in this third and final stage. So the wrong time for him to fall off, of course, now, as Hamilton's trying to go back-to-back Daytona 500 winner, then trying to win the next day in Homestead Miami Speedway. Now, as it came through to lap 50, up the inside of Ty Gibbs now, as it really felt like the car was actually starting to come to me a little bit now. So into turn 3, we make a move there and get clear of the 11 of Ty Gibbs.
Whatever you just did, keep doing that.
There you hear our crew chief of Latian over the radio saying, whatever you just did, keep doing that. I don't know what it did. It just kind of worked out finally now. It really felt like the first time all day long that we were really able to complete passes here in Miami. But now it wouldn't last a whole lot of time, because here comes the 11 back up to our back bumper, but couldn't quite pull it off there. Behind us, William Byron goes around out of turns 4 down the front straightaway. Our teammate of Christopher Bell nearly slammed into him, and he's going to come back on in front of oncoming traffic. A huge hit, and he gets hit in the roof. Byron goes around. That's a massive accident here, and as you can imagine, with mods in NASCAR Heat 5, that would result in a potential injury for William Byron. We'll have news at the end of this episode or the next episode about what's going on there, as that was a massive accident for William Byron. We come into the pit lane, by the way. We take 2 tires and enough fuel to get to the end of this race, and hopefully we do have enough fuel to make it to the end of a Homestead Miami Speedway race here today, now as we are back underway with now only 10 laps remaining in this race. But a huge accident for William Byron, and we hope for the best there. With that, we'll have to wait and see what happens and how much time he could potentially be missing if in fact he does have an injury at the end of this episode. Now 3 wide behind us, Noah Gragson trying to make a move to my right hand side now as we try to rally our way back forwards here, and we have the advantage of this late race caution getting us grouped back together, and I really feel like this is an opportunity for us to potentially get a top 20 finish, which I definitely didn't expect to see here today by the way this race had been going. But now into the top 20, passing Ty Gibbs. Lewis Hamilton gets back in front of the pack, so less than 10 laps to go. Hamilton looking in command here in Homestead. Now to lap 61 as we come through out of turn 4. He continues to lead the way now. So is Hamilton going to be able to hang on, or is he going to choke it away now as we came through the back straightaway? A move up the inside of Alex Bowman in turn 3. So we are surprisingly going to make a move for the 19th position, and we clear him. I could not believe that we were pulling this off on our former teammate of Alex Bowman there at Gordon Hendrick Motorsports, who clearly don't seem to have the pace at the start of the season like we did last season. So very surprised to see that from them now as we go into turns one, just trying to cover off now that 48 to make sure Bowman can't quite make a move there and try to make a pass. Now behind us, another crash. Chase Briscoe goes up into the outside while he goes spinning after blowing a tire. Caution comes out, and that is going to force a late race restart. Hamilton P1, Kraus P2, Eric Jones in third place. Watch out for Jones. He's in a spot where he has the potential to make an aggressive attack to the back of Lewis Hamilton, maybe to the inside. On this restart, it's going to be 3 laps to go here from Homestead Miami Speedway. Gibbs just behind myself. We're up here in 19th place. In my opinion, we were exceeding the expectations that I had set for my own self on the start of this day here as we go down into turns 1. I was just hoping for a top 25. So now here we are up in 19th alongside Alex Bowman. 3 wide there between Priest, Larson, as well as Caruth as we go down this back straightaway. Hamilton into turns 3 and 4, coming to the white flag. He's going to cover the bottom. The right move there. Eric Jones up into second place. Kraus now down to third place. Bubba Wallace still there in fourth place. I see Todd Gilliland all the way up by the outside wall. The only driver doing that now is around the inside of Rajah Caruth there as we come through the cross line. 2 laps to go here for Lewis Hamilton as he still leads away into turns 1 and 2. Now as Jones is putting a lot of pressure on his back bumper though now as we came through into turns 3 and 4. Coming to the final lap, Hamilton chose the top and left the door wide open for Eric Jones, who would take the lead out of turns 4 down the front straightaway. It took Eric Jones all the way into the playoffs last season to pick up his first win on the season, and here he is on just the second race of the season, leading the way on the final lap. Kraus up into second. Bubba Wallace there trying to put some pressure on Hamilton now in that third and fourth position as we exit turns 2 down this back straightaway for the final time, up in P18 behind the Trackhouse car of Ross Chastain through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Eric Jones now under pressure from Kraus, but it's not going to be enough out of turns 4. Eric Jones is going to go back-to-back in Homestead Miami and win for the first time this season and lock himself into the playoffs early for that McLaren Racing team as we cross the line for a very exceptional 18th place finish in the Dixie Vodka 400. I was ecstatic with an 18th place finish with this team. Quite the difference. Last season, here we were contending for a race victory. This season, we're happy with an 18th place finish, and it's just going to be a slow, long crawl up the ladder to get this team good enough to compete for a championship. Our teammate of Tyler Reddick there, rounding out the top 10, and then our other teammate of Christopher Bell had a really rough finish there in 27th place, as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen there at the very back of the grid. Chase Briscoe as well as Kaz Gralla now as we would take off from Homestead Miami finally here as the sun went down and we would head out to actually Charlotte, North Carolina. It was a very long flight. I wouldn't get there till very late, but saying goodbye to Miami until at the very end of this season. Now, in the next episode, we have Xfinity Racing as well as Cup Series Racing. So Xfinity goes to Auto Club, and then on the Cup Series side, we actually go road racing already. And I feel like at the beginning part of the season, when our car isn't fully upgraded, the road courses are going to be the true opportunity for myself to excel against the competition. So I'm very excited to have a shot at Sonoma Raceway. Are we going to have a car that can win? Probably not, but I think we can be a legitimate threat for a top 10 finish there. So excited for that. Now, we are quite a few points below the cut line to make the playoffs at the moment, as Ryan Preece is the last driver in. So we got work to do. But I'm very excited for that challenge. Now, news regarding William Byron. What's going on with him? He is going to miss 2 to 3 races as he has been injured in that accident in Homestead, Miami in this episode. So who's going to replace William Byron? Not 100% sure yet. You will see in Sonoma who we have elected to put in that number 24 car. Very unfortunate there, but Byron will still be eligible to make the playoffs, but he will miss 2 to 3 episodes here in our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. If you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. I'd like to say thank you to the Going Racing members, of course, before we end it here of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Hayes Gaming, Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasura, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Daniel 9302, Speed Demon 341, Ellis Emery, as well as Jay Fitz. I appreciate you guys' support so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.